Namaskar, Prag Bixekh IPL special powered by 1xBet or another interesting খণ্ডলৈ মই সমীৰঞ্জনে স্বাগত জনাইছো IPLৰ বতৰ আজি যিখন খেল IPLৰ হ'বলৈ গৈ আছে সেইখন খেল আপোনালোকে সকলোৱে জানে দিল্লী ক্যাপিটেলছ ভাৰ্চেছ লখনৌ সুপাৰ জায়ান্টছ যিখন দিল্লীৰ অৰুণ জেটলি ষ্টেডিয়ামত হ'বলৈ গৈ আছে সন্ধিয়া 7:30 বজাত এই খেলখনৰ বিষয়ে আমি আলোচনা কৰিবলৈ দুজন ক্ৰিকেটৰ বিশেষজ্ঞ আমি আমন্ত্ৰণ কৰিছো তেখেতসকল মিস্টাৰ Noel David, former international cricketer, welcome to the discussion, sir. And Mr. Bhargav Merai, current first-class cricketer for Indian Railway. Welcome to the discussion, gentlemen. So, as you all know, sir, Delhi Capitals versus Lucknow Super Giants is going to play tonight at 7:30 at Arun Jaitley Stadium tonight. So, my first question to Mr. Noel David, sir, is what scenario needs to happen for LSG to qualify for IPL playoffs, sir?
This is a very tricky situation they are in now, okay? LSG, because then first of all, their net run is very low, all right? They need 16 points, plus even then, even if they get 16 points, and if the net run rate is low, it is going to be very difficult because if SRH and CSK are on the same lines, okay, even if they have, if they also get into 16 points, but their net run rate is higher, there's a lot of equation to be done, and I don't think LSG has a chance to play the playoff because Rajasthan loses 2 games, even if they lose, but still their run rate is at a higher position. So I find that LSG is in a very, very difficult position to qualify. They have to improve their net rate. But I think even if they improve, how far they can improve, that we have to see.
My question was what scenario need to happen for LSG to qualify for IPL playoff?
As Noel sir said, it is highly unlikely for LSG to qualify from now on because throughout the tournament their net run rate is very low and they have not focused on net run rate at any point, and now they are way below that. Even they win 2 games, they are depending on other teams to, they are depending on other teams' decisions as well. So it is very unlikely for LSG to qualify from here. They need big margins. They need a change of approach in batting, and they need some luck from other teams as well.
So what do you think? Can DC will qualify for the playoffs? What do you think about it?
See, first of all, they lost against RCB. Okay, they lost in a big margin, that is 47 runs. Okay, down, and their run rate is down by 0.482, which is way below of CSK and SRH. RCB with 14 points. Rest, they can get an extremely unlikely that they will finish among the top 4. Because why I say, see, all these 2 teams which lost the initial period of the IPL, all right, the net run rate never improved out of, because they were not consistent in winning. They were not consistent in getting that 200 mark where SRH got beat a team by 10 wickets. They got 288, they got 270. So, and even CSK, all these guys have crossed 200. Hardly DC has crossed. So I think the net run rate varies. It is right down at the bottom. Even if SRH lose the last 2 games by combined margin of 150 runs, with the same team batting first, scoring 200, then DC will still have to beat LSG by 64 runs to go to the playoffs. So the equation of these 2 teams, LSG and DC, is at a very high this thing. And I don't think, they have to have all their equations before the match. They have to lay it down, their strategy. See, they have to beat teams. For example, today's game, they have to beat LSG by at least 70 odd runs for the net rate to go up the ladder. And I feel that is going to be not possible because, why I say, because LSG has a good batting side. They are at a good thing. Yes, they lost against SRH, 10 wicket loss. But I find that they can still, be a better side on today's game. So all this matters for both the teams, the equation, the run rate, the planning of the coach, the captain, how they're going to make it up. So it's very important that both the teams beat each other with a very big margin.
Okay, Bhargav sir, would you like to add more? What's your opinion on it, sir?
Yeah, exactly what Noel said is very much true. Like DC will have to win this game by more than 64 runs to come up from SRH. So that's a big margin, let alone winning against LSG. So that's the first priority, winning games, and that too with a big margin because they only last game to play. And I think Rishabh Pant will also come back. So they'll go all out. They'll have to win by margin of 70 runs. That's their target, and they'll go and look for it, and then wait what other teams do.
Okay, David sir, one question for you is this, should Rishabh Pant have been suspended for slow over rate? His absence from the
See,
RCB game had a telling
see,
impact since he accounts for just under 20% of DC's runs by himself. What do you think?
it all depends how we view. See, there are some rules laid out by the BCCI IPL governing body, and I think every team is following that. If there is a slow run rate, yes, the captains are penalized, which is not this thing. I say one way it is bad for the captain because he is leading the side, but he has to look into a lot of factors of the game. He has to look onto the field. He have to see which bowler to change. All this is comes into play. But punishing the captain is a little harsh. But unfortunately, that is what it is being laid by the BCCI IPL governing body. And I find that him missing the RCB game was a big loss for Delhi Capitals because he is the one guy who gets runs. He's the guy who's being the captain. He changes a lot of things. He has a good captain brains, and I find that that loss of him not playing last game was a big this thing for Delhi Capitals. Yes, Rishabh is a key player. Yes, Rishabh is the captain, but unfortunately, he was penalized for which he had to miss the game. And I find that a little bit harsh, but we cannot help it. What is laid by the BCCI governing body, and I think we have to follow it.
Okay, my question was, can LSG overcome the controversy coming from how their owner seemingly dressed down Captain KL Rahul in public?
I think at this juncture of the tournament, to lash out on your captain publicly is it's going to be very challenging for the team to cope up because they need to win both their games, remaining games, and that too with margin they have to keep in mind. So I think criticizing your captain publicly at this juncture is a big risk on the LSG team as well because it's not easy to cope up with his outside stuff and outside pressure, so I think it's not going to help LSG in any way. They could have looked this thing after finishing the tournament because there's still some time, 6, 8, 10 months of time to look after this thing. And currently, they could have stayed silent and not criticize in public.
Okay, okay. Bhargav sir,
I, can I
yeah,
add
yeah,
to
yeah,
it?
you can,
Can I
you
add
can.
to it? See, one thing is we should be very clear. Franchisees, owners of the team. But I feel that they have no right or no this thing to question the captain's this thing because when you are given the right to lead the team and do what you want, uh, you have no right to come and shout as Bhargav said, publicly. Yes, everything could have been taken inside the dressing room or in a closed room, with the door locked, and there you could have questioned Rahul. But public, you see, Rahul is not a ordinary cricketer. He is an
Right.
Indian cricketer who has been the captain of the country also. He is number one batsman. Okay, so you can't take him lightly. You can't just lambash your frustration, your anger, and
Right,
all
right.
that to a person to him. So I feel that that was not required. See, you don't look at your this thing. What is a profit and loss here? It's not that. You have bought a team. You have handed over to the coaches. You have the support staff there. You have everybody there who are handling the team. Leave it to them. You
Right.
sit back and enjoy the game. See, they have not done so badly where you have to come out and take out your anger. Yes, that day SRH was on a better side. They have been they're getting a lot of runs. So I think all this shouldn't have mattered. And I feel that it was out of the box, which all things happen. But I think, as Bhargav said, they have 10 months to rectify it. But I don't know what's going to happen in this 10 months, whether Rahul will be with Lucknow Giants or Rahul will move. But I am with the KL Rahul, because we all felt very sorry, because publicity, shouting at the captain of his nature is not required.
My last question is to Mr. Bhargav Merai, sir. So, what do you think about today's match? What's your expectation from today's match? Do you have any piece of advice to both of the team?
I think I'll go with the Delhi Capitals because they are playing better, and with all this Lucknow Super Giants owner thing and this thing coming into the play, I think DC have more chances to win, because Rishabh Pant will also come back in the team and he'll also play a crucial role. He's a integrant part of the Delhi Capitals. So I think I'll go with the DC. Whether they win with the margin of 64 or not, that is the questionable. But I think DC has a upper chance of winning today's game.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us, joining in the discussion. প্ৰিয় দৰ্শক, সেয়া আছিল আজি যিখন খেল হ'বলৈ গৈ আছে দিল্লী কেপিটেল ভাৰ্চেছ লক্ষ্ণৌ ছুপাৰ জায়েণ্টছ অৰুণ জেটলী ষ্টেডিয়ামত। সেইখন বিষয়ে আমি অলপ কথা পাতিলোঁ। দুয়োটা টীমলৈ আমাৰ ফালৰ পৰা শুভেচ্ছা জনাই এই অনুষ্ঠানৰ পৰা মই সমীৰঞ্জনে বিদায় মাগিছোঁ। ধন্যবাদ।